In the spotlight tonight is Kevin Knowles from Huntingdon, a lecturer, and his specialist subject is the history and geography of enclaves and exclaves. Bernice Murphy from Forkhill, a university tutor whose subject is the films of David Cronenberg. David Stedman from Stotfold, a printer and publisher, and his subject, the life and work of Caravaggio. And Derek French from Sutton Coldfield, a solicitor, whose subject is British television sitcoms from 1970 to 1990. Hello, I'm John Humphreys and welcome to Mastermind. 96 contenders have spent months preparing for their black chair ordeal. Tonight, you'll see 4 of them battle it out. At stake, the title of Mastermind Champion. Each of our contenders gets 2 minutes in that chair on their specialist subject and 2 minutes on general knowledge. So let's have our first contender, please. And your name is?
Kevin Knowles.
Your occupation?
University lecturer.
And your chosen subject?
History and geography of enclaves and exclaves.
Enclaves and exclaves. At which conference did the Allies formally agree to the Soviet annexation of Kaliningrad?
Pass.
Which low mountain overlooks the Spanish exclave of Ceuta on the north coast of Africa?
Monteacho.
Correct. The town of Point Roberts is cut off from the rest of the continental United States and sits on a peninsula which is the traditional national home of which First Nation people?
Pass.
In which year was South African sovereignty over the exclave of Walfish Bay formally transferred to Namibia?
1994.
Correct. Which part of Brunei is renowned for its wildlife and is surrounded by the South China Sea and the Malaysian province of Sarawak?
Temburong.
Correct. Decalia and which other British military enclave in southern Cyprus were retained as sovereign base areas under the London Agreement of 1959?
Pass.
A site near which village in the Angolan territory of Cabinda was developed as the exclave's deep water port in the 1970s?
Cabinda.
Malembo. Which creature is shown in the upper third of the coat of arms of Campione, an Italian enclave within the Swiss canton of Ticino?
A lion.
A snail. Which former enclave bordering on Lake Albert in Central Africa was administered by the Congo Free State from 1894 to 1909 before being incorporated into Sudan?
The Lardo enclave.
Correct. One of the world's shortest-lived enclaves was Pajirii inside Belarus. To which country did it belong from the beginning of the 1990s until 1996?
Lithuania.
Correct. The status of which Armenian village exclave east of Lake Suvan has been undetermined since Armenia's dispute with Azerbaijan over the region of Nagorno-Karabakh in the early 1990s.
Would be Bashkend.
Yes. Yes. In 1961, which country forcibly took over the Portuguese exclave of São João Batista de Ajuda in the city of Ouida?
Pass.
Which valley region lies mainly in Uzbekistan but also partly in Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan and has a large number of enclaves involving all 3 countries?
Fergana.
Correct. By which, finished. By which Spanish province was Melilla administered before the 1995 Statute of Autonomy?
Andalusia.
Malaga. You had 4 passes. Benin was the country that forcibly took over that Portuguese exclave, São João Batista. Akrotiri is the other British base in Cyprus. That town called Point Roberts is the home of the Tawasan people. And it was the Potsdam Conference at which the Allies agreed to the Soviet annexation of Kaliningrad. 4 passes, yes. Kevin Knowles, you have 7 points. Okay. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Bernice Murphy.
Your occupation?
University tutor.
And your chosen subject?
The films of David Cronenberg.
David Cronenberg. 2 minutes starting now. What is the surname of the twins who play the Mantle brothers, aged 9, in David Cronenberg's film Dead Ringers?
Pass.
Which company sponsors Seth Brundle's research into teleportation in The Fly?
Borax Industries.
Bartok. Who wrote the screenplay for The Dead Zone, which was based on the novel by Stephen King?
Jeffrey Bowen.
Correct. Partially based on his feelings at the end of his first marriage, which film did Cronenberg describe as his version of Kramer versus Kramer?
The Brood.
Correct. In Rabid, Judy Glasberg is carrying a copy of which book when she returns to the Keloid Clinic for further work on her nose?
The collected works of Freud.
The life and work of Sigmund Freud. Yes. In Videodrome, what is the name of the mission run by Brian Oblivion's daughter Bianca, where down-and-outs watch television programmes?
The cathode ray mission.
Yes. Who, together with Stefan Dupuis, won the 1986 Academy Award for Best Achievement in Makeup for their work on The Fly?
Chris Wallace.
Correct. What's the registration number of Vaughan's 1963 Lincoln, which has seen tailgating Catherine Ballard in Crash?
Pass.
Which fellow Canadian has provided the musical score for nearly all of Cronenberg's films, starting with The Brood in 1979?
Howard Shore.
Correct. In A History of Violence, what's Tom Stall's reply when Carl Fogarty asks, "Got anything to say before I kill you?"
Pass.
Which jazz musician provided alto saxophone solos for Cronenberg's 91 adaptation of William S. Burroughs' Naked Lunch?
Pass.
In which 81 Cronenberg film did Patrick McGowan play Dr. Paul Ruth?
Scanners.
Correct. What's the job of Ted Pycool, who is assigned as the bodyguard to video game designer Allegra Gellar in Existence?
He's a marketing guy.
Marketing trainee, yes. Which of Cronenberg's films has the tagline, "The only thing worse than losing your mind is finding it again"?
Pass.
The 93 film M. Butterfly was a rendering of whose Tony Award-winning Broadway play?
David Huang.
Yes. In Dead Ringers, which surgical instrument is invented by the Mantle twins as undergraduates and almost immediately becomes the new standard in the gynecological profession?
The mantle retractor.
Correct. Drag Racing's the setting of which film, which was rarely seen, I'll finish the question, outside Canada during its original release due to problems with its American distributor?
Fast Company.
Fast Company is correct. You had 5 passes. The only thing worse than losing your mind is finding it again was said of Spider. Ornette Coleman was the jazz musician that I was looking for. When Fogarty said, "Got anything to say before I kill you?" he was told, "I should have killed you in Philly." The registration number of that Lincoln was 867 VPD, and the surname of the twins who play the Mantle brothers is Haley. 5 passes. Bernice Murphy, 11 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
David Stedman.
Your occupation?
Printer and publisher.
And your chosen subject?
The life and work of Caravaggio.
Caravaggio, in 2 minutes. In 1584, Caravaggio's brother and guardian, Battista Merisi, apprenticed him for 4 years to which painter in Milan?
Peterzano.
Correct. What was the name of the man he killed in 1606 in a dispute arising from a game of tennis?
Tomasoni.
Yes. Which painting of around 1603 to 1605, now in St. Augustine's Church in Rome, was much criticised at the time because of the dirty feet of the old man kneeling before the Virgin?
Madonna of the Pilgrims.
Correct. His only known signature, although incomplete, is to be found on which of his works, which is also the largest he ever painted?
The Execution of St. John the Baptist.
Yes, in St. Jerome writing, what is lying on the book in front of the saint?
A skull.
It is. In April 1604, what did a waiter at the Albergo del Moro allege that Caravaggio had thrown at him?
A plate of hot artichokes.
Yes. Which fellow artist brought a libel suit against him and others in 1603, though Caravaggio himself was released from prison after the intervention of the French ambassador?
Baglioni.
Correct. Who made Caravaggio an honorary Knight of St. John in thanks for the portraits that he'd painted of him?
Aloft de Wignacourt.
Yes. What was the name of the Genoese prince who welcomed Caravaggio to Genoa and tried to persuade him to decorate the lodges of his house with frescoes?
Prince Doria.
Correct. In which village on the coast of Tuscany did Caravaggio die in 1610, supposedly after getting sunstroke on a nearby beach?
Porto Ercole.
Correct. What's the subject of the only independent still life attributed to Caravaggio, which is housed in the Pinacoteca Ambrosiana in Milan?
A basket of fruit.
Yes. From which prison in Malta did he make a daring escape after being imprisoned for supposedly insulting a superior officer in the Knights of the Order of St. John?
San Angelo.
Yes. For whom did he paint the Resurrection of Lazarus, which was given to the Church of the Crocifieri in Messina in 1609?
Pass.
In 1599, his first public commission was for which chapel for painting showing events in the life of St. Matthew?
The Contarelli Chapel.
Correct. In the 7 Works of Mercy, which Old Testament figure represents giving drink to the thirsty?
Pass.
Which painting do Baglione, I'll finish the question, and Bellori both suggest was the first that he produced for Cardinal Del Monte?
The Musicians or the Concert of Young People.
Yes, absolutely. You had 2 passes. Samson was the Old Testament figure in question, and the Resurrection of Lazarus was painted for Lazari and family. 2 passes. David Stedman, 14 points.
Thank you.
And our final contender, please. And your name is?
Derek French,
Your occupation?
solicitor.
And your chosen subject?
British TV sitcoms, 1970 to 1990.
Television sitcoms. 2 minutes. Which scriptwriter has been responsible for a number of successful sitcoms, including Bread, which is set in Liverpool?
Carla Lane.
Correct. What's the name of the bistro owned by Richard O'Sullivan's character in a spin-off series to Man About the House?
Robin's Nest.
Yes, in The Mistress, which was first broadcast in 1985. What sort of shop does Jenny co-own with Maxine, who's having an affair with Luke Mansell?
Flower Shop.
Yes, who wrote the theme song to Mixed Blessings, which is sung by Christopher Blake, who also plays Thomas Simpson in the show?
Pass.
Series 1 of which situation comedy includes the episodes Long Weekend, On the Move and Flying Carpets?
Pass.
In an episode of Fawlty Towers, which actor plays the spoon salesman, Mr. Hutchinson, whom Basil mistakes for a hotel inspector?
Pass.
What's the name of Father Dullswell's long-suffering but sharp-tongued housekeeper, who's played by Gabrielle Day in all 3 series of Bless Me, Father?
Pass.
What is the specific name of the hour-long special of Yes Minister, first broadcast in December '84, in which Jim Hacker becomes Prime Minister?
Pass.
Who were the 2 producers of the 18 episodes of Queenie's Castle?
Clement and Frenet.
Evans and Davidson. In the second series of The Fall and Rise of Reginald Perrin, what's the name of the shop that Reggie sets up, which specialises in selling absolutely useless goods?
Grot.
Correct. In the final episode of Porridge, originally transmitted in '77, which character's parole is threatened by a dispute with another inmate?
Lenny Godber.
Yes, what's the destination of the slow bus in the title of the episode of Only Fools and Horses, in which Del Boy launches Trotter's ethnic tours?
Pass.
In Agony, a series created by the agony aunt Anna Rayburn, Jane Lucas is the editor of the problem page at which magazine?
Cosmopolitan.
Person. What is the name of Audrey Forbes Hamilton's butler who moves into one of the lodges of Grantley Manor with her after her husband dies?
Brabinger.
Correct. In Dear John, which actress plays the leader of the one-to-one encounter group which Ralph Bates' character attends?
Louise Williams.
No, Rachel Bell. An excerpt from which piece of music was used as the theme for The New Statesman, first broadcast in 1987?
Pass.
In Colin's Sandwich, I'll finish the question, what is the name of the cult film director for whom Mel Smith's character, Colin Watkins, struggles to write a screenplay?
Steven Spielberg.
Alan Hunter. 7 passes altogether. Pictures at an exhibition was the music, which you obviously know. Chingford was the destination of the slow bus. Party Games was the name of that hour-long special of Yes Minister. Mrs. Pring was the name of Father Duddleswell's housekeeper. Bernard Cribbins played Mr. Hutchinson in Fawlty Towers. Terry and June was that series that included Long Weekend, etc. And Davison and Moffat wrote the theme tune to Mixed Blessings. So there we are. 7 passes. Derek French, 6 points.
Thank you.
So that's the end of the first round. Let's have a look at the scores. In 4th place with 6 points, Derek French. 3rd place with 7 points, Kevin Knowles. 2nd place with 11 points, Bernice Murphy. In the lead, clear lead at the moment with 14 points, David Stedman. So, general knowledge now, and if there is a tie at the end of this round, then the number of passes get taken into account. Let's get on with it and ask Derek French to join us again, if he would, please. And you're into... There's an awful lot of sitcoms to know about between 1970 and 1990.
Yeah, more than I thought.
Well, now, what about sitcoms? Is there a formula that you can apply and say it'll almost certainly work?
Well, not necessarily. I think it's more character-based rather than the situation-based. The situation should be the start of the situation, of the comedy, but the character is the important thing. So the
is it more important than whether it's in a hotel or...?
I think, yeah, that's just the starting point. It's a question of how the character's reacting to the situation that they're in.
And is sitcom in this country stronger than it was or weaker than it was? Do you see great ones coming up?
I don't, sadly, no. I think there's a lack of investment. There isn't time for series to grow. It's active unless it's successful quite early on. I think it's quite worrying, really.
Right. 6 points. Let's see how you do with general knowledge.
Okay.
2 minutes, starting now. What name is given to the layer of fat around the bodies of animals such as seals and whales?
Blubber.
Yes. Which language closely related to Hindi but written in a modified form of Persian Arabic has a name that means camp language?
Aramaic.
Urdu. Who wrote the lyrics for Andrew Lloyd Webber's musical Starlight Express?
Pass.
Which metallic element essential in steel making has the symbol Mn?
Magnesium.
Manganese. Which of her future cabinet ministers was the runner-up to Margaret Thatcher in the second ballot when she was elected leader of the Conservative Party in 1975?
Lawson.
Willie Whitelaw. Of which vegetable related to the marrow are butternut and custard varieties?
Beans.
Squash. Which dramatist wrote the Threepenny Opera in 1928 in collaboration with the composer Kurt Weill?
Pass.
In which country are the temple complexes of Angkor Wat and Angkor Thom?
Turkey.
Cambodia. Which English footballing legend was nicknamed the Wizard of Dribble?
Stanley Matthews.
Yes. Which leader of the Sioux at Little Bighorn was shot in 1890 after being arrested during the Ghost Dance Rebellion by Indian policemen?
Crazy Horse.
Sitting Bull. Who was nominated for a Best Actor Oscar for his role as the tattooed psychopath Max Cady in the 91 film Cape Fear?
Nick Nolte.
Robert De Niro. Which artist's wife Saskia served as the model for many of his paintings until her death in 1642?
Pass.
The author of which collection of stories was, according to Herodotus, a slave who lived in Greece in the 6th century BC?
Aesop.
Yes. Which garden implement can be Dutch, draw or Canterbury?
Pass.
Who bowed out as a commentator on British television just as Kevin Peterson's wicket fell in the final Ashes Test at the Oval in September 2005?
Richie Bennett.
Correct. Which seasonal wildflowers are once known as Candlemas bells?
Bluebells.
Snowdrops. What popular name is given to the macula lutea, the small area at the centre of the retina where vision in bright light and colour perception are keenest?
Pupil.
Yellow spot. Which city is the judicial capital of the Republic of South Africa?
Johannesburg.
Bloemfontein. Who played the sophisticated detective Mrs. Bradley? I'll finish the question. In the television adaptations of Gladys Mitchell's novels?
Diana Rigg.
Correct. You had 4 passes. You can have a Dutch, draw or Canterbury hoe in your garden.
gardening.
Rembrandt used his wife as a model. Bertolt Brecht with Kurt Weill did the Threepenny Opera, and Richard Stilgo wrote the lyrics for Starlight Express, and a lot of money it made him too. 4 passes, Derek French. Total now of 11 points.
Thank you.
And Kevin Knowles, will you join us now, please? And I suppose the first thing I have to ask you, for the benefit of many people, including myself, I know about Enclaves, but Exclaves?
Is a term to describe the part of the country detached geographically from the main country. So Libya, for example, which is an exclave of Spain, is an enclave of France because it's entirely surrounded by France, and yet it's actually Spanish, or rather Catalan.
An intriguing one. In 1945, was it, in Claridge's Suite 212, they set up an exclave?
It was deemed to be part of Yugoslavia so that the heir to the throne could be born on Yugoslav soil.
You sort of vaguely wonder whether when the maids went in to make the beds in the morning, they'd have to produce their passport because they were entering Yugoslavian territory.
Well, yes, you could argue that, yes.
So, enclaves and exclaves, what a subject. So let's see how you do with general knowledge. What is the radio call sign of the American president's personal aircraft, currently a specifically configured Boeing 747?
Air Force One.
Yes. On which West Indian island did both ska and reggae music originate?
Jamaica.
Yes. The name of which period of the Christian calendar is derived from the Old English for the spring?
No, pass.
Which 1977 science fiction film is subtitled A New Hope?
Pass.
Who replaced David Blunkett as Secretary of State for Work and Pensions in November 2005?
John. Pass.
Which poem by Rupert Brooke opens with the line, "If I should die, think only this of me"?
Elegy in the Country
The
Church.
Soldier. To which family of fish do the roach and chub belong?
Pass.
Which fictional character, usually pictured as a typical American revolutionary, was the personification of the United States before Uncle Sam?
Pass.
Which country's national flag is called the Hinomaru, literally meaning sun disk?
Japan.
Yes. Which American tennis player known as Little Miss Poker Face dominated the game in the 1920s and 30s, winning 8 Wimbledon singles titles?
Maureen Connolly.
Helen Wills Moody. The existence of which type of climatic period in the Earth's history was proposed by the naturalist and geologist Louis Agassiz in the late 1830s?
Jurassic.
Ice Age. On which island was the painter El Greco born?
Sardinia.
Crete. Which major British corporation was founded in 1926 by the merger of Brunner Mondon Company, Nobel Industries, United Alkali Company and British Dyestuffs Corporation?
ICI.
Yes. In June 1808, which country accepted Napoleon's elder brother Joseph as its king?
Belgium.
Spain. In which city does the Professional Footballers Association have its headquarters?
London.
Manchester. Which political position was successively held during 1999 by Yevgeny Primakov, Sergei Stepashin and Vladimir Putin?
President of Russia.
No, Prime Minister of Russia. Brother Jonathan was the character who used to be typical American revolutionary before Uncle Sam. Carp is the family of fish Roach and Chubb belong to. John Hutton, you nearly got there, became
Yes.
Work and Pensions Secretary. It's Lent that comes from the Old English for the spring. And Star Wars is subtitled A New Hope. 5 passes, Kevin Knowles, 11 points. And now Bernice Murphy, please. And you are interested in Cronenberg's films. What sort of filmmaker was he? Was he just a maker of schlock horror films? Was that it?
That's what he's perhaps most notorious for, but actually he's done a lot of films which you can consider quite low-key, stuff like Spider with Ralph Fiennes, which is like a very intense psychological drama with no gore or anything, you know, like that whatsoever. Or even his most recent film, A History of Violence, which is kind of deconstructs the American action film.
Scanners, a lot of people say that was the classic.
Very like this situation here, because it opens with a scene where someone's in a studio situation and their head explodes due to telepathic pressure.
Right.
So
I can reasonably assure you that that isn't where we're going with this.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Right, well, you have 11 points with your knowledge of Cronenberg. Let's see how you do with general knowledge.
Okay.
2 minutes. In which city does the University of Central England have its main campus?
Pass.
Which variety of tangerine takes its name from the former province of Japan where it was thought to have originated?
Nectarine.
Satsuma, whose most notable early works include the librettos for Rudolf Frimmel's Rose-Marie and for Sigmund Romberg's The Desert Song.
Pass.
What name is given to the purest commercial form of iron which is nearly free of carbon?
Ferrous oxide.
Wrought iron. Which small fox with large pointed ears, a native of the deserts of North Africa and Arabia, has a name derived from the Arabic for any fur-bearing animal?
Pass.
The former Conservative government minister Roger Napman was elected leader of which political party in October 2002?
The UKIP.
Yes, UK Independence Party. In which American soap opera of the 60s did Mia Farrow and Ryan O'Neill first achieve fame as Alison Mackenzie and Rodney Harrington?
Peyton Place.
Yes, what's the name of the drunken tinker for whose benefit Shakespeare's The Taming of the Shrew is performed?
Pass.
The name of which spouting hot spring at Urness in Iceland has been given to similar phenomena worldwide?
Geezer.
Yes. Who auctioned the Union Jack dress that she wore for the 97 Brit Awards, raising over £41,000 for charity?
Jerry Halliwell.
Yes. Which architectural feature can be dog-leg, straight, open well, or circular?
Pass.
In Greek mythology, the centaur Chiron was placed among the stars after his death as which zodiacal constellation?
The Bull.
Sagittarius. Who directed the Oscar-winning film Goodfellas?
Martin Scorsese.
Yes. Which word derived from the Greek for burnt face is now applied specifically to the inhabitants of one particular African country?
Niger.
Ethiopians. What's the reflexive form of the personal pronoun me?
Mine.
Myself. In March 2000, who became, at the age of 20 years and 53 days, Britain's youngest Formula One driver?
Jensen Button.
Yes. Which stage play was originally written for radio with the title Three Blind Mice for Queen Mary's 80th birthday?
Mousetrap.
The Mousetrap. You got that one in just in time. You had 5 passes. The dogleg, the straight, the open well and all that are staircases. Christopher Sly was the drunken tinker. Fennec is the name of that small fox with the pointed ears. Oscar Hammerstein wrote Rose-Marie. And the University of Central England is in Birmingham. 5 passes. Bernice Murphy, a total now of 18 points.
Thank you.
And finally, David Stedman, please. Fascinating character, Caravaggio. Wonderful painter, but a pretty appalling person in lots of ways.
He was a violent man who lived in violent times.
But he was an absolutely superb painter who got lots of commissions and wasn't afraid of upsetting the people, his patrons, the people who were paying him to paint.
Oh, yes, he would use people from the street, prostitutes, particularly to model for the Virgin Mary in 2 or 3 paintings, which became known and obviously upset the church authorities deeply.
One has to ask how they knew that she was a prostitute.
Absolutely.
Right, let's see how you do with general knowledge. You have 14 points so far. Here we go. Walk the Line, starring Joaquin Phoenix in the title role, is a biopic of which country singer?
Hank Williams.
Johnny Cash. Sir Donald Stokes was the first chairman and Sir Michael Edwards the last chairman of which motor company before it was rebranded in 1982?
British Leyland.
Yes. Which gang were defeated by the Earp brothers and Doc Holliday at the gunfight at the OK Corral?
The Clanton.
Yes,
gang.
in 1962. Which German bureaucrat became the first man to be judicially executed in Israel?
Eichmann.
Yes. Which foodstuff, now regarded as a luxury, does Sam Weller in Pickwick Papers say always seemed to go together with poverty?
Artichokes.
No, oysters. Which African island's predominantly Arab government was overthrown in January '64, shortly before it merged with Tanganyika?
Zanzibar.
Yes. What's the more common name for sodium carbonate?
Pass.
Who succeeded João Havelange as the president of FIFA in June 1998?
Pass.
Which archangel is the patron saint of paratroopers, policemen and grocers and celebrates his feast day on September 29th?
Good Lord. St Michael.
Yes. What's the name of the actress, a former wife of Ronald Reagan, who played Angela Channing in the television series Falcon Crest?
Jane Wyman.
Correct. Which conductor, who was born in 1895 and raised in Stamford in Lincolnshire, was affectionately known as Flash Harry?
Malcolm Sargent.
Yes. What name is given to the Japanese toggles, usually made of ivory, that were formerly used to fasten a small purse or pouch to a kimono sash?
Pass.
Which city, the capital of the state of Schleswig-Holstein, was the headquarters of the German Imperial Fleet during World War I?
Pass.
Which contagious bacterial disease of horses caused by infection with streptococci is also called equine distemper?
Glanders.
Strangles. Which film comedian, I'll finish the question, was born Arthur Stanley Jefferson in Ulverston, Cumbria on the 16th of June, 1890?
The great Stan Laurel.
It was indeed, and you had 4 passes. Kiel was the headquarters of the German Imperial Fleet during World War I. Netsuke is the name for those Japanese toggles. Sepp Blatter took over FIFA, and sodium carbonate is washing soda. Doesn't matter though, 4 passes, 22 points. So, at the end of the general knowledge round, the end of the contest, let's look at the scores. In joint third place with 11 points, Kevin Knowles and Derek French. Second place with 18 points, Bernice Murphy. In first place with 22 points, David Stedman. Which means, of course, that Mr. Stedman goes through to the second round. Congratulations to him. Do join us next week for more Masterminds. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
A religious gathering that's a trip of a lifetime. BBC Two joins the mass pilgrimage for Kumbh Mela, the greatest show on earth, tonight at 9. Going to Z of TV Gardening continues next.